African Continental Free Trade Area is a tool that's hoped will reawaken the continent's economic potential. For as things stand now, trade levels among African countries remain pitifully low.
For South Africa, as with many other African countries, the start of preferential trade will create great opportunities for growth and development.
As part of the pomp and ceremony, President Ramaphosa cut the ribbon on the first shipment to Ghana that's being shipped under the latest, more favourable tariff regime. The hope is that over the next 10 to 15 years, tariffs as well as non-tariff barriers will come down to almost 0% to ensure a smooth trading experience and achieve greater competitive pricing for African goods and services within the continent.
So indeed, while trade would have started just shy of 2 years ago, you would not have had trade under the more favorable tariff regimes that were gazetted last week. So across a range of categories of products, there have been significant and additional concessions to the trading regime that would have started on the date that the president had outlined a few years ago. So I think what has been gazetted on Friday and what effectively was officially brought into being today via the shipment of grinding media to Ghana is a big part of really this gradual process of doing away with many of the tariff and non-tariff barriers that have been a constraint and a hindrance to better trade among African countries.
Meanwhile, black business representatives say a lower tariff regime in the African Free Trade Area will serve as a great opportunity for emerging businesses to take their wares and services beyond the country's borders, while also benefiting the continent at large.
Trade needs to be considered from both sides, that there will be companies and industries that will also then bring their products into the country, while we also then export our products to their respective countries. That is a huge opportunity, because if we then look at the population in the continent, we're talking about 1.3 billion people. So that is a huge opportunity within that context.
The greatest hope with the evolution of the African Free Trade Area is that African nations no longer fall into the trap of just exporting raw materials, and that they grow industries over time, delivering finished products to new destinations. This local business, which manufactures household and industrial piping, is excited about the potential of the African Continental Free Trade Area, as well as the competitive edge lower tariffs will bring.
First thing that the trade agreement gives us is a harmonization of standards. In other words, the standard for piping in South Africa should be recognizable in other countries. That's the first thing. The second thing is obviously relating to the duties and the ease of landing your products on the other side when you export. We are already a significant exporter. We sell our products all over the continent, the piping products, and we sell our medical products all over the globe. And we are very much looking forward to a situation whereby we are able to have product landed in some of our African countries at very competitive prices relative to what they can obtain from the Far East.
Ramaphosa talked about the huge potential the Africa Free Trade Pact had for not only emerging businesses, but especially for women and the youth, and noted that growing intra-Africa trade would see the country's land and seaports experience even greater traffic. The prospect of trade growth is expected to help fuel wider continental economic growth as well as job creation, key elements needed to address the continent's socio-economic deficiencies. Nompumelelo, Siziba, SABC News, Durban.